What's up, boys?
Hello there.
What's up, my man? How are you
How
guys?
you doing? Great.
Good, man. Dude, my fucking alarm never went off today.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I wasn't able to do everything I wanted in the morning. Oh well.
damn.
Can't let that throw you off, right?
You still got the whole day.
Yes, sir. What's up, Gary?
What's up?
How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. Just taking a look at GJ over here. Did anyone get part of this move? Maybe an impulse entry as we broke this resistance? Okay.
Nope.
Looks like we're holding support right over here on the 1 hour. It's a nice setup over here. It looks like price is starting to come right back up. We're probably going to retest this high up here, but we got to see if this is something that we want to take. Obviously, like I said, I wasn't able to wake up, so need to check some fundamentals. James, you take anything this morning?
Yeah, GU from last night, and I had EU as well.
That's right. How are they playing out?
It's good. I close out GU at 40 pips,
Okay.
and EU I entered yesterday, and it's still running.
Wow. Good for you, man. You want to send a chart so we'll take a look at it?
Yeah, I put the GU one in Trello.
Okay, cool. Let's see. So we have this resistance over here on GJ. So price, let me see, where are we at? Yeah, so price is just holding this support over here, previous resistance. This is a very crowded zone over here. What's up, Balin? And what I was saying last night is you want to wait for price to break out of this zone, if anything, before you take a trade. Because last night it was
Hi guys.
what's up, Balin? How are you?
Good and yourself?
Good, man. So it looks like we respected this trend that we were in. Obviously, we're consolidating over here, but price is just continually bouncing off his trend line and respecting it. And price came all the way up here, printing higher lows, higher highs, but then price came all the way right back down into this order block. Oh, damn it. What's happening? You guys ever keep your thumb on the space bar and it automatically changes the
Yep.
chart? It's the worst. But anyway, we had this order block over here. A lot of messy consolidation before price finally gets some volume with this move right here. But now we're right back into this area. So I was saying last night, you don't want to trade anything in here. This is just a mess. So wait for price to break out. So we finally broke out. Obviously, once we broke out, it's still kind of a mess over here that you don't really want to trade in. So finally, we did something kind of similar to over here, where you have this whole messy area. It's an order block, but not really. It's just higher lows, higher highs, but at the same time, it's still very messy over here. So over here, same exact thing happened. So we finally broke out of that. Are we retesting this area to form support and then continue right back up? Pretty simple over here. So I just want to see a support formed, but we need to see how many pips do we have in this range. You only have about 20 pips right here. And plus, it's very messy to the left. So see if you get a support. I bet that what we're going to get is some kind of a support in here. And it's not going to be clear. Where you get some kind of a bullish candle printing right back in, where if this candle closes back into the range, you're going to get some kind of a support here, kind of like over here, where you had this high, price comes down, creates a support, and then obviously retest the high, prints a new high. But then price doesn't retest this area. What it does is it comes right back into this range and then comes right back out, prints a support. This candle grabs liquidity and just continues up. So I could see the same thing happening here if we don't hold the support. I could see the support holding over here. Price comes right back out and then continues right back up. But we just need solid price action for that to happen. But it looks like it very well could respect this area right over here and then start to exit that area with all these wicks, form support, and then continue right back up to retest the high. You can easily grab at least 8 to 10 pips in here. Right, so that's what I'm looking at. I really, if price does come back into this range, I'm not looking to take any sells. I don't want to take any sells below this or above this trend. This trend right here and this one as well. And I'll show you where that one's coming from. Got multiple rejections over here, respecting that bullish trend line over here. So I don't want to take any kind of sells until we break this trend line. And honestly, this market structure as well. Once we break this support over here, these will be safe sells. Everything else points to buys. Fundamentals point to buys. Technicals point to buys. Price wants to come up and retest 155. That's what it looks like. But I'm curious if, as you guys could see, we're kind of respecting this trend line over here, so far at least. But if we close above here and close above this resistance over here, price will continue right back up to 155 or retest the high. But looks like we're rejecting with this long top wick over here. So this is interesting. We'll see what we get. Let's take a look at gold. James, I'm sure this is you. Yeah, I'm going to take a look at this in a sec. Let me just finish breaking these down and we'll get right to it. So let's see. This is my marked off chart from last night. Let's get rid of all this and do a fresh little breakdown over here. So 1890. Obviously, it's no secret that that's a very strong level over here. Multiple rejections with these wicks, and prices failed. This previous daily candle yesterday, failed to print a bullish candle, right? And it ended up flipping bearish. It's kind of like a doji. This candle ended up passing the high, it looks like, and passing the low of the previous candle as well. So let's see what the 4 hour looks like. Yeah. 4 hour is pretty messy. Obviously, you guys, we are in this channel since retesting 1680. I say it all the time, just constantly printing higher lows, higher highs. But when it prints that higher high, it comes down, consolidates a little bit, and then it comes up and retests the high. All right. Price comes up, creates this high right here, this resistance. Comes down, consolidates a little bit, and then retests the high. So right now, it's just consolidating. So this is a messy area. You kind of like really just don't want to trade in here. It's tough, and it's tough to. And I know like we're always looking for some of these longer term trades that we could place a scalp and turns into a swing. But this isn't the area that you want. You want price to exit this area for that longer term buy, and price to come right back out of here, and then you could take this. We're printing higher lows, right? But not higher highs. Price is kind of coming up, creating a high, coming up, creating a higher low, right? And it just keeps consolidating over here. So looking at the 1 hour, looks like we are successful at holding this support. Let's see if we're respecting. Play around with some trend lines a little bit. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. So honestly, price is kind of just like pushing up. No. There you go. So price is just honestly pushing up. It's hard to take any kind of sells above this trend over here. It's just everything's been above it, right? So once we break that level, that'll give you more confidence that maybe we're coming all the way right back down here. Where if we break this trend, break it, maybe retest it, continue to consolidate, and then all of a sudden Price breaks below here. We come right back down into this range. We drop because we get a clean move to the left. Retest this key area right over here. Form support, consolidate a little bit, and then continue right back up. That could very well be a thing because it looks like buyers either we're collecting orders here to continue up, or buyers are just cashing out, and they're just grabbing their profits, and then all of a sudden gold just starts to come down a little bit, and then we grab liquidity. People get in at a better price. Banks get in at a better price down here, and then price continues. I don't see us breaking this channel at all, being that with the fundamentals of gold, all the inflation fears over here. I don't see this trend, channel being broken, but I do see maybe a support formed over here, just like down here. All right, for price to then continue right back up. It seems like buyer's momentum is kind of just washed away at this point. This formation right here is interesting to me too, and this is what tells it for me. Right over here. The fact that price created this higher low over here, right? Came up, never passed the high of these candles over here, consolidated, and then came all the way right back down to retest these lows. When before, you haven't been having those same lows being retested. You had a higher low happening. So now, and then this high is lower than this high over here, and then this is the same level. So buyers are starting to exhaust over here. Maybe we are going to break this channel or this trend line at least, and then continue down. Your best bet, like if you want to take something, is probably going to be like the safest. It's going to be in this zone over here. Got a clean move right here, clean move right here to take sales all the way right back down here. It's hard for me to sell gold. But in reality, if price comes right back down here, we could start heading up. You could take your buy, safe buys, and then price continues right back up to the high, and that'll be your swing move. What's kind of annoying is when swings set up towards the end of the week, and you're almost like, if you get a good setup, you're almost forced to hold it over the weekend, which isn't that big of a deal, but it's kind of annoying. But looking at this for when it comes to any kind of scalps, I don't know if you guys want to trade in this, but if you do, you have this previous support. Price broke the support. Nice move down. This is what we had last night. And then price comes up after forming support, higher low over here, and then pushes right back out with a nice clean move over here. Nice clean move to come down and retest that previous support as well, previous resistance. And now price is starting to head up. Right? We got a nice support over here formed. Now these candles are interesting. Is this a resistance or is this a support? This candle passed the low of the previous, because this candle passed the high. This candle passed the low as well. So we're kind of consolidating in here. Keep rejecting this area. So looking at the 15-minute, let's see what we have. Basically have this support right over here forming. And you might be able to get a nice move over here. You get a bullish close. You may want to wait for the 30-minute to close over here. Looks like price grabbed liquidity, and we could be heading up. It's flipping bullish. So let's see what the 7 o'clock volume brings us. But this may be an opportunity for us to take a buy. We just need to kind of exit this area. We need a candle kind of closing above this area. Don't force this trade because it's a little tricky over here. You need price basically closing above this area right here. And once it does, I have about 55 pips to come right back up to retest these highs. Obviously, you're going to secure at some point in here, which would be about 33 to 23 pips. So you can at least grab 10 pips in here, move your stop loss to break even, and hopefully ride this thing up. But like I said, it seems like buyers are exhausting. We are consolidating over here. So you just want to be aware. of trading in any of this. Maybe lower your risk. Now, EJ, the German over here, IFO business climate, obviously came out better than expected. So we had a nice move. When did this come out? This came out at 1. So obviously this is a big mover on EJ. Let's take a look. So yesterday we broke a little bit. We broke the trend line that we were respecting. Broke it. We held support. We never broke bullish market structure, where the nearest support on like the higher time frames over here was never broken. So it's never really confirmed for sells. But right over here, we formed support at that same area. Nice bullish candle. This candle created a little bottom wick and then just started pushing up because of that economic data coming out. Here we go. So we never broke this structure. Safe sells once we closed below this area. What I was saying the past couple of days was, if we break this, this was actually last week that we broke this. Then we held support over here, came up, and I was saying, all right, maybe we could form a resistance over here and then continue down because it really wanted to retest the bullish trend line, continue down to retest these lows, and then continue down from there. But it never did. It held support. Held support right here. There's too many positive fundamental sentiment coming out of Europe and EJ with lockdowns kind of finishing. So how would we have grabbed this move? Obviously, this is data coming out, so this is tough. But it looks like we created this high up here. Creates this high, comes down, consolidates, kind of like what EJ does, and then breaks out of that consolidation right here, and then continues to consolidate until we get that economic data coming out. So maybe in this area, this zone over here, if you take that out, you're probably just consolidating until that data is coming out because it knows it's going to be a big mover. But we held support right here. You would have to jump down to the lower time frames to possibly grab this. I like this candle right here with a strong wick to possibly fill. This candle has no bottom wick either. This would be more of a riskier trade to take based on this candle right over here because this was typically a rejection. But knowing that that's going to come out, you could possibly place a trade after that candle closed or after that the next candle passed the high of that one. But that would have been tricky. Maybe on this candle right over here, this would have been a tough move to trade. I like this doji candle right here. So if you placed a buy as this wick created its bottom wick and then flipped bullish and passed the high of that candle, you would have grabbed this move. So that's something that you can journal on EJ. Obviously, you're not trading economic data when it comes out. What you're trading is the reaction to the news. But if you backtest this enough, and you know what normally happens when these positive numbers come out much better than the forecast, then you know that, all right, this is typically how it moves. You go back in the dates and you study this data coming out. You see all the previous times it's come out. What happens when it comes out worse than forecasted? What happens when it comes out better? And you journal that, and then you get more and more confident with some of these moves, able to take them. And feel confident taking this on the 5-minute, if very well, if that could be. So that's what we're looking at on EJ, on how to catch that move. Right now, we have our resistance. There you go, most recent. It looks like the 30-minute is kind of exhausting over here with this candle. Maybe it wants to form a support over here at some point. Look at the 15-minute. Yeah, it looks like we're possibly holding the support for price to continue right back up. And I think our next move would be up to 133,800. if we get there. So looking at the 4 hour, let's see if we have a clean move to the left, which I believe we do. Ooh, not so much. They got marked off this level with previous rejection over here, support. Yeah, this is a little tricky to trade. You got a cleaner move once we break above 133,800. But if you get your setup over here, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that area. I would wait for my setup. There we go. This is nice. This looks a lot like GJ past couple months. But looks like we're coming up, retesting this area, possibly on the 30-minute. Who trades GJ in here? I don't think anybody in here currently.
Oh, EJ.
EJ, yeah. Do you
I
trade?
look at EJ.
Okay, James does. So maybe possibly as this candle, flips bullish, but I wouldn't do that because I feel like it would only close like a weak bullish candle body. You know what I'm saying?
Like I look at the 4 hour, and it seems like if you go to the 4 hour, there's like oh, we cleared it. Yeah, that resistance. How big is the range?
Oh, this range right here?
Yeah,
It's enough. You got about 45 pips.
it's good actually. Yeah, because I was gonna wait for a close, like a 4 hour close maybe.
Okay. So you want the 4 hour to close above that area, which definitely makes sense.
Yeah,
1 hour is right over here. So we need to hold support on the 30-minute if that's the case. We need a bullish
Mhm.
candle over here with a wick to possibly fill for you to enter that. Wait for that candle to close. Looks like the 15-minute wants to hold support, but 15-minute also created a top wick, and now it looks like it may be flipping bearish. You have about 4 minutes for this candle to close.
Yeah, I was looking at it like at 8 o'clock this morning, and I was thinking like I needed a 4 hour close above that
Yeah.
area. But then I forgot about it until you mentioned it there.
Oh man, did chest and tries yesterday. I'm so sore. I don't know why. Okay, so those are our pairs. That's what we're looking at. We're waiting for again price to close above this area. It looks like we rejected this area with this wick, but this wick we could possibly fill if we close above this area. If we close above this previous resistance. It looks like we're closing right back in. Like I said, I could definitely see us creating a support somewhere in here, just like we've been doing. Right over here, right? You broke this level, came right back down into the range, formed a support, and then closed right back out of the range. This candle grabbed liquidity and then headed up. So maybe with this candle, what you want to wait for, if this is what we get, obviously it's definitely not guaranteed. But if we get that support and price closes out of that candle, you may want to wait for the next candle to form its bottom wick because you saw what happened over here with this wick. Price grabbed liquidity, closed bullish, and then the next candle just started pushing up from there. Got a nice move about at least 35 pips. So over here, just want to be aware of that. Looks like we're definitely rejecting. Gold again. Our safe buys are going to be above this resistance. And then EJ, let's see if we hold support over here. We're just going to keep monitoring these. Before we get into this, I just want to run through some of our Australia's index over here is doing pretty well. So gold should be heading up as well, or it should be bullish at least. Oh, this is the daily. Dollar currency index, very bearish. Volatility index is bearish, so not much going on. But looks like the Japanese currency index, like we've been pointing out, obviously very bearish, but now it's holding the support. It's kind of consolidating in here. Is it going to react to this area, form resistance, and then continue down? Or are we going to hold support over here, break out of the resistance, and then continue up? Obviously, this is a big deal when it comes to the Great Britain pound. Dollar currency index obviously is very weak. We broke support over here after consolidating a little bit, broke support. Now we're at 89.6. There we go. Yeah, now we're at 89.6 over here. It looks like we're retesting this area to then continue down. So gold should be on its way up. And we can also look at this. All right, 7 o'clock. We closed bullish over here in the 15-minute. These candle bodies are getting weaker. This candle rejected, hard rejection over here. So are we holding support to then continue up? But we need to clear this area first. Don't get impatient and try to take a buy from down here. Just wait for that area. You got a nice clean move to the left. Plus, this is a tricky range to trade in anyway. All right, let's check this out. James. Good shit, James. Obviously, yeah, this was the one we were looking at yesterday, right?
Yeah, that was the one that annoyed me.
Yeah. Now, with this trade right over here, what made you take this one?
I was respecting that area. You see the key area?
Mm-hmm.
They respected it. And as the candles were rejecting it. And the bullish trend that it was in.
Yep.
And then I thought, like, do you see the high to the left where your
right
mouse is? Yeah, that to get break even when I get to there.
Okay.
I didn't see how it plays out.
So, and this is the 15-minute. So you held it through all this consolidation?
No, I was under like the second wick.
Right
You see
here?
you see the wick that came down? The middle one?
Right here?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like a retest.
And that's where you entered?
Yeah.
Okay. You kind of just held this consolidation. See, with me, and I know a couple of people are like this, Sharma, and what I listen to, and you guys know me, I've been sending these videos and listen to all these institutional traders, all these people that been banking for, I don't know, 20, 30 years in the markets. They all say you really don't want to get stuck in this. You want to kind of wait for price to kind of exit the area with that candle, and then you grab the move. You place your stop loss below this consolidation over here and let this thing run up. That make sense?
Yeah.
Because you could obviously be consolidating here, break this trend line, and continue down. Could always happen, but obviously we're very bullish, so that's a lower probability. But it's just kind of a pain to get stuck in something like that.
Yeah, I was looking at DXY too, and at the same time.
True.
And it made sense to enter, but I
Yeah.
know it's kind of riskier.
That makes sense. Yeah, this is a little riskier. Maybe enter like, if you're confident that price is going to continue up and you want to get in at a better price, enter that one a lower risk. And then once you get this candle printing bullish right outside the range, then you can re-enter and basically scale in.
Yeah.
All right. So you're always trying to look at where you could have re-entered, where you should have secured, all that stuff. Just constantly trying to improve. But good shit, man. This is an awesome trade. How many pips is this?
I think it was like 42 or 3. I need to check. I know GU I closed out at 40 because it started coming back down.
Yeah.
GU was the better trade because the market structure in the 4 hour looked nicer.
Better entry?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks like EJ may be forming our setup that we like on the 15-minute. Nice high created, comes down, retests this previous resistance, forms support. Obviously, we have positive fundamentals, so we could be continuing up from here. We just need that bullish close. Nice, strong 15-minute candle close. Gold, like we've been saying, these candles are getting weaker. Looks like maybe we created our bottom wick over here, and we could be holding support. GJ, right back into the range. This candle closed with no bottom wick over here. So this candle, I mean, it could be 50-50, obviously, but looks like we're retesting this previous zone. This is too difficult to trade in on GJ. I would honestly stay out. It's just like not really worth it. Unless we form a support over here. No. Still no. We'll see what we get. We got many other options. But you had this order block. Price broke out of it. Consolidated. Printed a new higher high. Now we coming right back down. Are we going to respect the support down here? We need to respect this whole area and see if price holds the support and then continues right back up. So gold pushing up, kind of getting what we want. Again, I would just wait for this. If we had clean price action to the left and we were in a trending market, right, I would have probably entered as price passed the high of this wick right here, putting my stop loss down here. But the fact that we are in a consolidating market over here, it's harder to take impulse entries. Impulse entries could go, 50-50 really. Where when you're in a bullish trending market, it's more like a 70-80. And you're looking for high probability setups. So I just want to close above this area and a nice clean move to the left right here to retest the high. This is the push we want in the second half of the 15-minute candle as well. EJ holding support as well. See what we get over here. EJ, we're getting our nice bullish 15-minute candle over here, possibly closing. It's forming its top wick right now. It could retrace a little bit and leave a top wick, and you can enter after that candle closes. You can enter after the bottom wick is formed on the next candle and this candle flips bullish, and then after price passes the high of that candle. So let's see how this candle closes. Oh, Matei sent something, right? Sorry, buddy. Ah, new chart layout. Fancy.
Yeah, I changed it a bit.
I like it. Higher high printed. Strong resistance.
Yeah, we rejected strong support during Asian and London session, and I'm looking at the same structure so we can break above 1880 and then possible retest.
Yep.
That's going to be a clean area for buys, but I don't know if we can have that today.
Yeah, it looks like right now we are holding this support over here. We're printing higher lows, and the fundamentals behind gold are bullish, right? So it's hard to sell anything until price breaks this bullish structure. So let's see what we get over here. If price starts rejecting that area, let's see, you have 52 pips up. Honestly, really 30-something pips to retest this high up here. But if price breaks above this area, you have that move that you can grab. And then also, Matei, if you did want to take that, just wait for price to close below this support right here. Get a clean move to the left to come retest 1880.
Yep.
But again, it's hard for me to sell gold, especially with the dollar as weak as it is. All the inflation. See, this is why I was saying you want to wait for price to close out of this range before taking this. I'm hoping that we continue up, but at the same time, you got to be patient. Look at that. That's why. So EJ may be our move. Just like I was saying, we formed our top wick over here on the 15-minute, hoping this retraces a little bit more. We should be continuing up. We have the fundamentals on our side for buys as well. But yeah, love the breakdown, Matei.
Yeah, thank you. I actually took this one. I posted it in Trello. It was
You took which one?
you can go to Trello. I
Oh,
posted
yeah.
It's gonna be a bit hard to explain on this chart. So
100%. Just want to get this ready.
we can just do it later.
No, I'm gonna open it right now. It looks like EJ may be our move, guys. This is why you stay patient. No emotion. Did you guys like our guest speaker yesterday? GU trade. Who is this?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, this is James. I was gonna say. Yeah, this is nice. You took it on the break of that bearish candle?
Yeah, I waited for the daily to close, and then I normally see how it reacts to the daily close and stuff. I wait for the spreads to settle down, and then the 4 hour was after making a bottom wick. So as it started to come up, I entered.
Nice. Higher lows over here versus pushes up. Nice volume. What time was this?
This was 11:30 p.m. my time.
Oh, okay.
So your time is like 5 hours. So that's like 8.
Yeah, this is the Asian volume. Good shit,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks.
It's nice. Got that clean move to the left as well. Once we break out of here. It's good shit, man. But I'm gonna break that down in 1 second. Just want to wait for this candle to close. All right, we want a bottom wick to form. I'm just going to enter 1 right now. Dynamic risk. Come on, form a bottom wick. Let's break this down over here. Anybody else taking EJ? No?
The setup looks perfect, but it's not really my thing anymore.
It's what?
It's not really my thing anymore. I don't
Oh,
like it.
EJ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, EJ's been tricky a little bit. It's a nice, strong 15-minute close. Looking for price to come up to 133,579. That'll be my 10 pip mark. Probably close the full thing at that point. Just because the 4 hour is so overextended. All right, long XAU. Let's see. I get all the screenshots. Love it. Clear buys above 1880.
Yeah.
Qualification. I see what you were doing.
Yeah, I was waiting for the 15-minute candle to flip, because we created higher high.
Yep.
Went down to create higher low, and then we got the 30-minute and the 15-minute close bullish, and I was waiting for bottom wick to be created, but the candle just split. You see this big rejection?
Yep.
Candle, and I executed at the pass of the high because I expected retest of the high and continuation, weak fill on the 1 hour and weak fill on the 4 hour as well.
Yeah, this is
There just no volume.
yeah, like I said, I see what you were doing on this, but the main thing is like, how do you manage risk?
I managed risk. I closed 50% right away as 5-minute flipped back into this order block at like -2 pips.
Mm-hmm.
And then I added another position as the next 5-minute candle broke the previous 5-minute high, because it really looked like we are about to break that order block and the 1 hour candle was coming to close. So, I was expecting that impulsive push at the end.
Sure.
And then as it came back to my entry, I closed 50% at break even and another 50% as it broke the 15-minute low, the current 15-minute low. So I risked 2% in this trade and ended up losing 0.8.
Oh, perfect. That's
all right.
Price action. Risk management. What I wanted to say was, though, like I said on gold, we're consolidating in here. So it's harder for you to take impulse entries. So what I would have probably waited for you to do, if I was you, I would have waited for the close above this area, because if this rejection with this candle, obviously you got a little liquidity grab, but the candle doesn't close with a bullish body. It closes like a doji. So I would have waited for a close above this resistance right here and then take this thing right back up to retest the highs.
Yep, I agree with that. Yep.
So just be careful with impulse entries in consolidating markets, because it's really just 50-50. It could go anywhere. In the trending market, it's good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, man. Yeah, I think it's better if we break these down on the lives instead of me just going back there and typing up what I think. It just gives, more time and more, one-on-one of just talking about the
Yep.
trade and me getting your feelings on what you were thinking, stuff like that.
Exactly.
If this candle flips bearish, I'm going to close 50. All right. 50%. Yeah, I don't like the 5 minute. We could kind of consolidate in here a little bit and then exit this order block and then continue up. Let's see what we get. Oh, I didn't for this. So that was everyone's day yesterday. Alan, you had a late day, didn't you?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Me?
No, Alan did. Remember you sent me a message. So 30-minute candle is about to close. Gold's coming right back down. It's probably going to close below the support over here. GJ respecting this zone I was talking about. High or low. Bullish close. I could see this continuing up. Just like too much to trade in. So this is good. 15-minute, 30-minute candle right now is creating its bottom wick. Doesn't have a top wick. So that's what we want. We just don't want price to pass the low of this previous 15-minute wick. Is anybody else in this? Chris, Gary, nobody? James?
Okay.
I don't really trade EJ.
That's right. Yeah, you trade GJ and you now?
Yeah.
Okay. I think Juan just came in. It's right over here. I'm going to close another 50. Juan in here. What's up, Juan?
So what's up?
How are you, buddy?
Morning.
We're just taking a look at EJ. We just broke down all the charts. I just closed 50% over here. Beautiful price action on EJ, although it's just not holding up right now. Holding support, previous resistance on the higher time frame. And I wanted to break a couple charts down for you. We broke above this resistance over here and then formed a support on the 15-minute. Price formed support with this 15-minute bullish candle right over here. So it looks like maybe the 30-minute is creating a bottom wick right now and then may flip bullish. I already secured 50% or closed 50%. Once this candle actually ended up flipping bearish. So what I'm going to do is just journal this real quick. So let's see what we get here. Juan, any specific pair you want me to break down for you?
GJ. That's all
GJ?
I'm looking at. Just GJ and gold.
Okay. 15-minute. I barely lost anything on this, which is perfect. Good risk management. Let me just grab something real quick, and then I'll be right with you, and I'll be able to.
Yeah, that's cool.
break it down. Let's see. All right, Juan. Let's break down gold over here. I'm actually just gonna erase all these drawings, and we'll break this down from the monthly.
Yeah.
Actually, this is actually the 12-month on gold since 2007. See what I'm looking at over here? Looks like perfect price action on the 30-minute, right? Like this is a trade that you would want to take.
Mhm.
Support formed over here. Take this all the way up. I mean, you grab a couple pips right here, only like 8,000.
God damn. I'd be done for the year.
Imagine it. You get in at this candle right here, support forms. Back in 2016, that's a lot of swaps here accumulating. But
Yep.
anyway, perfect price action over here. This high created right over here back in 2011. Obviously after the financial crisis, and then price came down, formed support, and then we've just been pushing up. But a lot has happened fundamentally for us to get to this point. So looking at the monthly over here, if you take a look at this price action over here, back after the 2008 market crisis, we created that new high, price consolidated a little bit, and then we started getting into a recovery, global recovery, and then price started coming right back down to then form our support. So then 2016, 2017, Trump is elected, a lot of uncertainty in the market, right? A lot of things going on. We almost entered a World War III with Iran. A lot was going on at that point. And then obviously COVID, which pushed us all the way up past the previous highs. But if you take a look at this area right here, very similar to this area right over here. So what are we going to consolidate? If you actually take a look, this bullish move right here is a lot like the bullish move right over here. But with further
dump.
inflation fears and everything, wait, what was that?
To have a big dump again or what?
Maybe, and that would honestly be good because that means we're getting into a recovery. There's no more inflation fear. There's not many geopolitical pressure going on. As far as all right, cool, we're retracing over here. It's probably better to look at this on the 30-minute, hoping this candle floats bullish and continues up. If that's the case, I'm going to re-enter. Now looking at this, very similar. So maybe we form a resistance up here. We retest these highs in this area, right? Retest these highs, come into here, form resistance, and then continue down. And then maybe, economy starts slowing down or picking back up again. COVID's basically done. It seems like it's basically done now in the US right now. But anyway, price is basically just pushing up. That's what we're going by, right? So looking at the weekly, price is respecting bullish structure over here. Just been pushing up, right? Tapping it multiple times. Right over here. But what's our main confluence? When we're breaking down a chart, we're looking at the main thing, and that's our support and resistance and the supply and demand zones. So you have a support right here, right? 1680, very strong resistance, and then support. Price kind of consolidated, never broke the low, never broke the support, and then just started pushing up. And this was right in the summer, right around June. Price just continued to push up. Then we found our highs in August. So ever since finding our highs up here, we've been in this corrective phase. Right? You've just been respecting this channel. Every time we create a high, we come down and create a new low. Creates a high. Every time we create that low, we come up to grab liquidity, form a new high, and then we just dump. Same thing. Right here, starts dumping. So we came down to retest 1680, and it looked like we were pushing up from 1680. Forget any of this happened. It looked like we were, forming support here and then continuing up to mirror this move. But no, we wanted to grab liquidity one more time, and we actually formed a double bottom, which is beautiful, perfect. Double bottom over here. Price retest it, never passed the low of this candle, this move over here. Price just been pushing up since then. So right over here, ever since forming that support, we've been in this bullish channel, just pushing up. Right, so now we're basically at the high of that channel, but now let's look at support and resistance. Previous support over here was this candle body close right over here. We had that support forming, and now we just keep rejecting this area. So now we have, again, most recent support and resistance. We're just rejecting in this area. And actually, now while we're at it, I'm just going to get rid of this. Hold on. There we go. So now we fail to keep breaking the highs. So if you look over here on gold, you have this wick rejection, this wick rejection, this one closed bearish, and this one is just failing to, push up. We passed the low of this wick right here, right? And we're just kind of consolidating here. So gold doesn't know what it wants to do yet. Our buyers kind of cashing out over here, grabbing liquidity, and then coming right back down to maybe form a support, just like we did down here. But like in this area, this is a very key area right here. So are we going to form support right over here, consolidate a little bit, retest this area, and then continue right back up? Sorry for the drawing. Just check EJ. Cool. It is 7:45. Okay. So looking at gold right now. Now this is a little bit tricky to break down for you. It's not your typical price action over here, but we have to make do with what we got. We got to understand where price is. So it looks like this is a strong support right here with these candle body closes, rejections over here, candle body closes, form support, continues up. These candles come down and grab liquidity in that same zone before flipping bullish and closing bullish. Same thing over here, right? So looking at the 1 hour, this is a pretty strong support over here. But now looking at most recent support and resistance, we had a support right here that was formed and we broke it. But we came up, grabbed liquidity. All these candles are starting to, turn bearish or consolidate over here, tire out, and then push bearish. So what I was saying before was what we get is, because right now we've been respecting this bullish structure. So I don't want to take any sells above this line right here. I want to wait for maybe this main structure over here to break, this trend line to break as well, and this main structure to break before taking any sells. But even better, you want to wait for this area to break, because what you have is you got this clean move right here, this clean move right here. Over here, it's just still an order block. So safe buys are going to be below, safe sells are going to be below 1863, 1864, we'll call it. So you don't want to take any sells here. You're just looking for supports to form, for price to continue up because of the fundamentals. The fundamentals behind this, you got all this inflation fear coming out. You have Israel and Gaza. That's another one that's pushing gold up. There's many different things that could be pushing gold up. You got the Indian variant that could be curbing the Great Britain lockdown and stuff like that. So everything right now is bullish on gold. But if we break this trend, we break this nearest support, and then we break this one, you could be able to get sells right back down into this area where price, I drew this before, right? Consolidate over here and then start pushing up. I don't see us breaking this channel. Does this make sense? Obviously, this is a little bit more tricky to break down just because of all this consolidation over here. And I would say most recent support resistance. Looking over here now, you have this resistance. It's tough to trade in here. And we were waiting for, if you look at the 15 minute looked like it retested this area. Right? This high comes all the way down, retest previous resistance, previous support, just starts pushing up. So we were looking for, so these candles didn't happen yet. these bearish ones. All we saw were these bearish ones. These candles are starting to get weaker, and then we got a bullish candle forming right here. This candle ended up pushing up, and I was saying, don't take any buys yet. Wait for a close above this area before you take buys, because you have a clean move to the left. You have all these rejections. You need price to close above that resistance.
Oh, there he goes.
Yep. So right now, price actually ended up closing below this area and right back into this range. So we'll see if this support holds. So now you could get rid of that, and you got a clean move to the left. But you kind of want price to get out of this area. We're consolidating. Want price to break resistance, get a nice move with a nice move to the left. If you do take sells here with a clean move to the left, you want a retest in candles closing in your direction to take any kind of sells. Does that make sense?
Got it.
Cool. I'll break GJ down for you as well. So we need price to break out of this consolidation over here before I re-enter.
So do you find it more effective waiting for candles to close?
Oh yeah,
Or
always more effective.
impulse?
Impulse, you only want to take impulse entries when price is trending. If you're ranging like on gold right now, you don't want to take any impulse entries. You want to wait for those candles to close.
So before we go over GJ, can we look at the chart that I just posted on there?
Oh yeah.
I don't know what.
Oh, and yeah, Slack. All right. So multiple wick rejection, minor support. I like the breakdown. Multiple fails to close above. Yep. Oh, so you entered this?
Yeah, I entered once that candle closed. I was like, okay, so previous candles just wicked into that zone, couldn't close above. So like, okay, cool, we're gonna move up. So yep, took an entry there, and then took 3 more entries after that.
Oh,
As price moved its way down, I was like, okay, it's retesting a certain level, retesting another level, and then it fucking
yeah, that was a tough one.
shit.
All right, so with this over here, the entry was down here. Not that you want to take it, but this is where we form support, and this was the move, right? So if you look at this setup right here, this is what I pointed out before. If you look at GJ right here, take a look at this area right here to the left where we form support. Price came up, formed a new high, comes down, retest that previous support over here, and then starts to head up. But guess what? You're waiting for this bearish candle to form a support in this area to then head up. All right. But guess what? It closes right back into the range. This is a very similar setup right here where, these buys are overextended. You bought up here, instead of waiting for that retest. So, that was kind of like a FOMO trade where, you wanted to take this. You saw the clean move to the left, but it was kind of overextended at this point. We needed to kind of retest this area over here. Where is it?
Oh, okay.
Right in here.
I guess I was too focused on waiting for a closure above certain wicks.
Which is good. Like you did good there. Now you just want to wait for the next candle to form its bottom wick. You want to wait for, you put your stop loss all the way down here. You could have possibly came in this area right here and had a tighter stop loss if you waited. But this is cool. This is fine. You need to embrace this because now you're learning. Now you're getting better. Like you're getting used to seeing this. The more we're breaking this down, the more it's going to stick in your head. and you're going to get better. You just got to embrace some of these losses. Now, how'd you manage risk?
I let it hit my stop loss.
Okay, so
Because what I was thinking was at that time it was 6:30, and I was like, no, it was 5:30. Yeah, it was 5:30 over here, Central Time, 6:30 y'all's time, your time.
Yep.
So I was like, okay, it closed strong. It closed the 15-minute, 30-minute above all previous wicks. So more than likely, it's just coming down to create its low for this next 15, 30-minute candle to then continue up. So I was like, okay, just grab a little bit more entries on the retracement to then keep going up. But it didn't do that. It just kept going down.
So this is why backtesting is so important because, and not traditional backtesting like you're probably thinking, it's just going back into the charts. Where can I see a similar setup, right? And what I was saying with this, before this even happened, this candle was getting close to this support, but I was saying it could very well close right back into this range and form support somewhere in here and then close right back above that resistance, and that'll be the entry. Only after waiting for this wick to form. So this candle closed out of the consolidation over here. This candle came down, grabbed the liquidity, formed a bottom wick, and then flipped bullish, and then we headed up. So that's what I was saying over here is something that you could have waited for if you saw that. Or if you were on the live stream, you would have heard me.
I see what you mean by I bought it at the top.
Yeah,
so,
bought it at the high.
Yeah,
that was the main thing. So, like I said, just learn from that and go ahead. But at the same time, when you know that's a loser, you don't want to be sitting there saying like, oh, I'm sure it's going to like form support here. That never happens most of the time. When you're like, you know, you're in drawdown and you're just like, you know what, like it could form support here or it could, you know, do what you want, whatever it could be. And it just never ends up happening and your stop loss just gets hit. So in that case, you know, once we get below this area right here, once we get below out of here back into this area, you should close 50 or 75%.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So as far as the entries that I took, they all accumulated 2.5. This wasn't a entry. This wasn't a live trade or anything like that. It was just a paper trade.
Oh,
right.
All right.
Yeah. So I just
that changes everything.
Treat it like if it was real, you know.
Yeah. No. 100%.
So with me taking multiple entries like that, totaling up a risk of 2.5%, was that too much to risk?
Buying at the high it was.
Okay, so let's say I didn't buy at the high. Let's say I bought down at the bottom, but it still hit my stop loss. Was it too much?
Not as far as risk. What was too much was risking that much on this setup. If it was a setup like kind of like EJ over here, the way it was looking over here, yeah, enter 2%. Most of the time, this is going to play out. And it still could very well play out. I'm just managing risk here. I barely lost anything on this trade just because of the way I manage risk. Like I'm completely content with holding this drawdown right now. Right? So, but like if you get a setup, I mean, you could point out multiple ones over here. This would have been a nice impulse entry right here as we pass the high of this candle with a wick to fill. Price continues up. This setup right here, I see all the time. Where's my tool? This setup right here is beautiful. Retest this area. This candle grabs liquidity, passes the high of that wick right there, and then just heads up with volume. That's 6 a.m. volume right there. Now, obviously, this is an impulse entry, so you don't want to risk that much on that. But at the same time, this was you could have risked a little bit more, like 1.5%, 2% on that, knowing that you've seen that multiple times. Maybe you haven't, so you wouldn't do that, but I've seen this multiple times, so that's something you probably could have taken if we weren't near a resistance. But I'm trying to find like a nice setup for you that you could risk like 2.5%.
So do you think GJ right now is actually pretty difficult? I think
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's me, but GJ's like, God damn.
It's not you at all. That's, it's kind of been different all year, but other than that, we're in this range. This could go 50-50 either way. So in this range, I don't want to risk 2.5%. Price could go any way that it wants. You're not in a trending market. When you're in a trending market, price is pushing bullish. I know it looks like it's trending, but at the same time, it's really just, you're creating higher lows, right? Respecting this and printing higher highs. So you're basically just consolidating. So you don't want to risk 2.5%. Maybe trade like with 1% in here. I risk 2% on EJ because we're trending over here. And we have the fundamentals came out. German IFO business climate came out. And this push during London. Beautiful push, yeah. So at this point, yeah, we're just consolidating. I like this wick right here. Pay attention to this wick. This wick normally gets filled with a weak bearish body over here. This candle did flip and basically respected this zone up here. But at the same time, when I see this with no bottom wick over here, this normally gets filled. Not every time, but we'll see. But yeah, GJ is very difficult to be trading right now. So honestly, maybe this isn't the best pair to break down for you. Maybe GBP USD. That's the same thing.
They're all shit.
Well, not much is going on with the pound right now. It's they're kind of easing the lockdowns, but at the same time, they're kind of scared about the Indian variant. Let's see if any headlines kind of came out. Wow. China bought US dollar. Yeah, let's just get a USD. It just came in here.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, is that?
Oh, no, nothing. Is that what?
David down in I think he's down in Punta Cana or something. Yeah, that is David. I'm trying to find.
Yeah,
What's up,
Where's
buddy?
that at?
what's up?
How was his vacation?
I'm still on vacation. It's good.
Having a good time?
Yeah.
Missing you over at Gold's. Let's see. I'm just trying to look for a clean chart. Yeah, here we go. It's a little bit better. All right. Let's check this out.
So is it always necessary to go every time you are about to trade a session, do top down from monthly?
Oh yeah. Yeah, you want to reset your chart. You get better at charting as well. I don't always do it on the higher time frames just because, like, when we first started this mentorship, I was doing this every day, like every single day, just breaking down the higher time frames, and it just gets, when we're trading in the same pairs, it just gets repetitive. It's like, all right, we know what's going on the weekly, You know, we don't have to really check that. We could glance over the recent price action on the weekly, but you don't have to break it down with all the trend lines, and especially with gold. Like we know it's happening. So USD CHF, obviously, wow, goes all the way back to 94 over here. So honestly, this isn't really the best price action, but we'll go most recent support resistance over here. Obviously, we have a support right here, right? And if you look to the left, price is holding that support. So this is a very strong support we've been holding since 2011. So price had this resistance over here, and we kind of faked out, grabbed liquidity up here, and then just came down. So are we going to close below the support and continue down? After you have a fake out, there's a high probability that price will either, there's like an 80% chance price will retest that previous support, especially in the bearish trend over here. And then there's I would say 60 to 70% chance that price will break out of that support and continue down. It'll break out of the other side of the range. So this is the monthly. Looking at the weekly over here. Now you just adjust your zones. Previous support, resistance, and price kind of faked out, kind of coming down. So I bet price is coming right back down to this support over here. Again, this is the weekly. You got an order block over here to the left. Want to be careful of that. Price is now approaching it. So are we going to hold support here and continue up, or just push right back down to the low, which is what I'm thinking. Now, over here, you had multiple rejections of this area, right? You see a support formed over here. And now we're starting to break below that support with this bearish candle. So we're starting to exit this area with this candle right here. So let me get rid of these arrows. And then let me check an EJ real quick. Cool. Just consolidating. So you had this resistance up here. Price breaking below. Let's see where we're probably heading next. So actually you had this support right over here, previous support. Now we're kind of in this. So this is going to be our support right here. Are you catching on? Does this make sense?
Yeah, I'm catching on.
So you got this support
Yes.
right here. You got the clean move once we break that area. So we need to close below that area for price to continue down. But you got a clean move here, right down to this area. Could continue down. How many pips do you have in here? It's about 56 pips that you could catch. But this is the daily. So let's see what we got on the other time frame. So right over here on the 4 hour, we broke below. We exited this area with this candle right here. So now are we coming up to retest these previous wicks and obviously the previous support to the left to form a resistance and then continue right back down and retest these lows and continue down? You're just going based off most recent support resistance. Then you look left. That's it. And then there's multiple things, and this is what we're going to go over on our second Zoom when we put together that trading plan. There's multiple things that you want to check over before you take a trade. One is the price. One is how big is the range. Let's check over all the time frames real quick before entering this trade. There's multiple different things that you have to run through real quick, and it should only take maybe 30 seconds total before you enter. And that honestly keeps you out of, kind of just jumping into a trade once you get that volume push. When you guys get like a crazy volume push, don't enter that trade. It could just be forming a wick to come right back down in reverse. So be careful when you get those crazy volume pushes and you get that FOMO of like, oh my God, I'm going to miss this move. A lot of times it just reverses.
Me?
You? Yeah. So over here, 1 hour, we're holding this resistance over here. This candle has no top wick. Doji candle, bearish doji candle. This candle looks like it wants to pass the low of that candle And we could be coming right back down to retest these lows, which is about 17 pips away. And then after that, you have our support right here. Once we break that support, we could be coming right back down here. So that lines up, that previous support lines up with this area. Typically, I mean, that 16 pips, you should probably secure at like 7 or 8 in this range. And move your stops to break even. If it comes down and continues down, that's great. But in the 16 pip range, you should at least be able to get about 7 or 8 pips. In a 25 pip range, easy to get 10 for the right market structure. So again, on EJ, I'm waiting for price to close above this resistance right here for me to enter another position. Looks like we're grabbing orders to then continue up. Didn't I point this wick out? This wick normally gets filled.
Yep.
So just take note of that. Put that in your journal. This happens on EJ, or this happens on GJ as well. This happens on gold. A lot of different pairs this happens on. So again, I'm not entering or re-entering. I could have very easily, gotten excited and re-entered over here as we passed the high. I know this candle made a strong push up as well before flipping bearish, where, a lot of people get enticed to, after managing risk, they get enticed to re-enter that. But you just want to wait. You have certain rules. That's all trading is, just sticking to those rules. So it's actually the first time I've ever broken this chart down, but looks like we could get a nice setup. Consolidating over here. These are two safe haven currencies. So you want to close below this range right over here for price to continue down.
30-minute, right?
Yeah, this is the 30-minute. So wait for a close below, and then you could possibly take this down. You got a clean move to the left. But price could always hold support over here and then fake out and continue right back up. If that's the case, you want to wait for a retest right here. And then price heads out to retest these highs. Right here, you probably have about 12 pips. Right here. What am I doing? Let me just check. Wow, 12 pips.
Yep. Look at you.
So yeah, man, that's basically how you break down a chart. It's most recent support and resistance. Look left, check the price, check the range. That's it. But the more you go through the course, the more you're going to see me doing that. So that'll help.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yep. Just gonna mark this down. David, you been trading or just kind of enjoying yourself?
Nah, last week I was trying to, but I seen the chart. That shit was crazy. It was really hard, right? Last week. Yeah, I seen it. I was like, nah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, and then Gigi still looks ugly.
Oh yeah.
She like really ugly. I'm trying to figure out big ass range.
Yeah, this is don't even bother basically trading in here. It's just kind of a mess. You want to wait for price to break out. So like last night when I sent the analysis for Asian, I broke this down on the 4-hour. Look.
It kind of makes it looks more kind of clean the 4 hours.
Yeah, like I hate how I hate the quality of this. Like looks weird. But anyway, this is the 4-hour. So anything on the 30-minute, the 1 hour was hard to break down. So whenever it's hard like that, you want to jump up to another time frame, the higher time frames. So that I was waiting for just like a close above this area. But even so, I don't want to trade in this. I said beware of even trading in the zone. Very messy on the lower time frames. And this is what I was saying as well. Only way I'll take sells on GJ is if we break this trend over here that we've been respecting, right? And also this one, which is the main one over here. So the only way we'll take sells, and you really don't want to trade in this range over here. Maybe you want to wait for this support to be broken because you got a clean move right here with this wick, this support over here to fill. And then even better, you got this move over here once we break support.
Are you looking at gold too or no?
At gold, yeah, gold over
Gold looks
here.
more clean, yeah.
So gold, we're holding the support, previous resistance. I broke all these down before. But we're holding this support right down here. Grabbing liquidity multiple times. This candle formed its bottom wick, and we could be filling this wick right over here. Looking at the 1 hour, we had this resistance, multiple rejections over here. So wait for a close above this area to possibly take a buy to fill this wick. But even still, you know, you want to wait for candles to close when price is consolidating like that.
Yeah, man, it's been crazy.
Yeah. So, you know, weeks like this, you just want to lower your risk. All right. So EJ closed above that resistance, but not enough. It got that like barely close. So this is susceptible to a fake out. So maybe I'll wait for better price structure to re-enter something like this. Maybe a wick forming, a little retest of this consolidation over here, and then take this out.
That's like the same setup as EU. I'm looking at it right now.
Looking at EU? Yeah, it's, I mean, the main mover
Same thing.
is the euro because of the German IFO business climate during London. This right here.
Yeah.
Came out better than expected. This is a pretty big mover in the market. So what I was saying was like some of these economic data events coming out, what you want to do is look at the previous dates. What happens when it comes out worse than the forecast? What happens when it comes out better? Right? And that way you could trade this potentially. Look at this push. Form support over here. That came out and we just pushed up. So now New York is continuing that move. See this? I want cleaner price action above this resistance, and then I'll re-enter. I'll probably take a different position too with a better stop loss if I get it.
Yeah, I'm looking at DXY and it's kind of rejecting on the 30 minutes.
Okay.
Because I still have the EU trade, and it's I'm waiting for that to like close.
Let's see. Yeah, we kind of retested this area over here. Yeah, we're coming down. And David, you said Euro USD. Is that what you were looking at?
Yeah. Look, you have the same, almost the same setup.
Yeah. Beautiful setup right here. Retested previous resistance, form support, continued up. How fast is this pair move? Yeah, kind of fast. This candle's 10 pips. Could have entered as soon as this candle closed. Only problem is no bottom wick. It's just full bullish pressure, which is honestly good, but.
So question on that right there.
No questions. What's up?
right, so it broke previous resistance, came back, created support, right?
Yep.
You have that bullish close candle.
Yep.
Now, would you open a trade on the close of that bullish candle at the bottom at 22,550? Or would you wait for the next candle to create its wick down or its low and then enter once it breaks the previous 30-minute wick high, which is at 22,600?
This is where
Which
dynamic
one?
risk comes in. So this is where, you know, if this candle closes, which is the best way to trade, waiting for this candle to close. As soon as that candle closes, you enter, let's say, 0.5%. Then the next candle forms its bottom wick, if it does. And as it's starting to creep up, right? And if you're confident in that sub, you've seen this many, many times. You trust me, you're going to get to that point where you're like, all right, I've seen this many times. There's a high probability of that happening. I have no idea what's going to happen next, but there's a high probability of that flipping bullish and continuing up based on this structure and based on seeing this many times. So you would enter the second one as that candle starting to creep up. You can enter a third one as that candle flips bullish, right? And then a fourth one as it passes the wick of the previous candle. This wick's a little high, so that would be tough. If the wick was right here, then yeah. So you would have probably entered like 3 positions right here, all accumulating that 2.5% that you were trading on, you know, in a consolidating market. This is where you risk that much.
Now, another question though. The range is pretty small though.
This range?
Yeah, so I mean the high, I mean usually when a uptrend market creates support, it retests its high most of the time.
Mhm.
But it's very low in pip range.
So this is our next area, probably. It could be right here, 122,710. But at the same time, you get all these wick rejections. So I see price coming right back up to that area as well. So in this area, you have about 34 pips. So this is a nice range that you could be trading in. So price comes up, forms a top, like a new high, and then this is a nice strong candle. There's no reason for me to believe, especially with fundamentals. That's why you pay attention to fundamentals and what's actually going on in these areas, in these countries, because it gives you confluence and it gives you more confidence in the fact that after a bullish close like that, there's little reason for me to believe that price is going to break below the support and continue down. If this candle was like this, give me a sec. If this candle closed with a wick like that and like this right here, maybe the next candle comes right back down and passes the low of it after creating a top wick. But this is a strong candle with a wick to fill. So you can enter as soon as that candle closes right there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
And then if it forms a bottom wick, which it didn't, this would have been a little tricky entering as it passed the high of that candle because you don't know if it's going to exit this area. But if that wick, like I said, was somewhere around here, then you could have probably entered another one. But this is why you backtest and this is why you journal these moves and go back in your journal on your daily musts for the day of things that you got to get done. Put down, review 5 previous trades that I've taken. Juan, you want me to explain that in French?
I don't understand French.
I'm kidding.
Doing the Spanish stuff.
I got you. All right. Well, it looks like I missed my re-entry, but good thing I'm already in it. So 10 pips, 133,579 is where I'm going to secure. Probably going to move my stop loss up to this area over here. We should be continuing. the way I manage this trade, does this make sense to you guys? Obviously, Juan and David, you guys weren't in here, but over here, obviously entered as this candle closed. This candle passed the high of that candle and then flipped bearish and started coming down to form a bottom wick. And that's where I closed 50%. This candle passed the low of that candle over here, closed another 50%. So I was looking for another entry. You know, I still stayed in the trade. I'm not going to close the full thing because I am very bullish on EJ. But I was looking for another entry, another opportunity to get in. This candle wasn't a clear enough candle of closing above resistance over here. I want a nice clean candle closing above for me to be confident that that's going to continue up or take an impulse entry. So right now I'm just waiting for this to maybe create a high. Maybe we retest this area and then continue up. Maybe you can re-enter there. But other than that, maybe we don't re-enter. Maybe continue up 10 pips. Let me see. I don't have my little box. That's great. I literally risked 2%, which is 60, around like $62 for me. And only lost by managing risk, closing 50 twice, only lost like $11. And now I'm in profit, like 10. I wanted to risk a lot more, but never got a re-entry. We exited this consolidation area. Damn, it's 8:25 already. David, when do you get back?
I get back the 5th,
The 5th.
so it's Saturday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean,
You're there for a minute.
like 3 weeks.
You visiting family or you just on vacation?
No, vacation.
Nice, man. Well earned. Dude, you've been killing it ever since you came in here. You've been working hard, losing weight, right? Getting better at
Yeah,
trading, getting more confident, getting
I
less
feel mad
emotional.
weird because I haven't hit the gym, but like I try to do like every day 200 push-ups.
There you go.
200 push-ups.
Add some squats in there too.
Yeah.
Good shit,
And
man.
then I be walking a lot here too, and it's so hot. So like that's kind of good, you know.
Yeah.
I be sweating a lot here.
Good
It's too
stuff.
hot.
So
It
where,
was
where
like
you at?
195, 195.
David, this is Juan, by the way. I don't know if you've met Juan yet.
No,
So yo,
no, not yet.
where you at right now?
To Puerto Rico. I'm in Puerto Rico right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I'm
3
in
week 3 week
Aguadilla.
vacation.
Yeah, then like my last 5 days, I'm going to San Juan
Uh-huh.
and stay there in another house.
That's awesome.
Damn. Must be nice.
Yeah.
Shit, if I go down there, I gotta pay for 5 people. Me, my wife, and my 3 kids, man. You know.
That's gonna be a pain. Got that stupid song stuck in my head.
So how is it you and Sharma started getting on to doing these videos breakdowns on Sundays?
It's actually a good question. I kind of forget how we started. We've always like just gone back and forth, sharing ideas, stuff like that. Honestly, I forget. I think we just planned on doing one day, just on Instagram. I think I brought the idea up, and she was down, and just been doing them ever since.
Where is she from?
It was her idea for the series that we're doing on YouTube.
On YouTube? Yeah.
She is from California.
Oh, she's in California?
She's Indian now. Yeah, man.
Sometimes I think it's unreal those
Profits.
those profits. I'm like, how the hell? There's no fucking way.
Well, I mean, she's been doing it for 6 years, you know. It's. All right, Mateo. See you later, buddy. Yeah. I mean, she's been killing it.
Big time.
It's crazy though because like she was explaining to me. Actually, she was saying this on the episode, so I don't feel like I have to, not say anything. But she in her culture, obviously, her parents are very education based. Like, go to school, get your degree, get your job, 401k, all that stuff. And she wanted to go into law, I believe. I believe it's law. And she did so, and she wanted to go into like financial law. She was very interested in finance and all that stuff. And she was just trading on the side, teaching herself how to trade. And she didn't tell her parents until she started making some like serious profits, because she wasn't confident in telling them what she's been doing, because they look at that as gambling or whatever the case may be. But yeah, she showed them that, and she's been killing it.
Ridiculous, man. Like, damn. Like 6'9", kiss my forehead. Give me some of that knowledge.
Yeah, right. They'd be smart.
Years in the making. Years in the
Oh, that's right. Her when she told them, her mom gave her like $400, and she like flipped it for her, and that's kind of when they believed, what she was doing.
Damn.
Yeah. Good for her, right? But dude,
Indian people are just smart in Forex trading for some reason.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Rakil is Pakistani. Or Paki? I don't know how you say that.
He's pretty good too. Really good.
Rakil, yeah. Good stuff, David. Yeah, this is basically it. Just beware of taking any kind of sells on gold. We're in a major uptrend, even though we're consolidating. So your better bet would be any kind of buys. You don't really want to take sells on gold, to be honest with you, until we break either 1870 or break 1863. Fundamentally, there's no reason for you to take gold or take sells on gold until we break this market structure. Yes.
All right, Stefanos, want to go to the beach soon?
Yeah, man. Enjoy.
I'm gonna go with my girl because she's already started bugging already.
Enjoy, brother. Nice seeing you. Wow. Good shit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Motherfucker rubbing it in. No. Nah, I love it. He earned it. That dude's been he's been working, putting the work in, sending charts, fucking getting in the gym. He lost like 15 pounds. And he's actually from the same town as me. So we've been able to catch a couple lifts together.
Damn, that's cool. That's cool.
But he's one of those where, his parents just don't believe in what he's doing. Friends don't believe it. You know, and he's just trying to prove those people wrong. So it's
Same here.
yeah. Well, there
Same
you go.
here. When I tell them about it, they're like, okay.
Yeah, we talked about that on your Zoom.
God, yeah. I told my dad, and he was like, okay.
Well,
And then my mom, she's just like, yeah, you'll get it. Like she says it or tries to push me, but I know she don't really mean it. She's just saying just to be supportive, you know. But
that's and that's fine. Like with me and my parents, it was the same thing. They kind of believe what I'm doing now, but in the beginning, it was like, you know, they definitely showed that they supported. You know, they're not like, don't do that, or, you know, weren't like that, but they would hint at different things like, don't you want to do this, or, you know, and it's just like, no. But they're you could definitely tell that maybe, you know, they don't really believe in it truly.
yeah,
They won't believe it till you show them. And what I said in the announcements, your haters are right if you lose.
yep.
This is the last message. Haters are right 100% if you lose. And I'm not talking about losing trades, talking about just losing at everything that you're doing as far as like quitting or stepping back from trading for a little bit or anything like that. Your haters are right. And the main thing that should be driving you is you and proving you right. And anybody that believes in you right. You're selfish if you don't outwork yourself and outwork anybody else, because you got people believing in you and depending on you. So that's,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
if you're not, you know, doing what you're supposed to be doing, you know, that's being selfish. But, you know, a lot of people say, don't let those people drive you. The people that hate on you and all that stuff, fuck that. Like, if it drives you and it naturally drives you, let it drive you. But the main thing should be yourself. I always hear people say, don't let that drive you or anything like that. But I've heard many people, like Patrick Bet-David. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, you told me.
Yeah,
And the Alec Goggins guy.
yeah. All these guys are the man. Those are the people that you want to look up to, people that have what you want. You know, your parents, your family, they only have your best interests at heart. They think, at least. So it's not their fault. They just, first, haven't seen the proof yet, and two, just think they know best for you, but they really don't.
I just need to move my ass to Mexico and live off of Forex for the rest of my life.
Trade Forex.
And real estate. And build a bunch of like houses out there somewhat.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna get it.
Yes, sir.
I ain't stopping. I can't stop, man.
You can't.
I've back then in the past I thought about it. Like maybe I should do this. I can't. I come right back to it.
Forex?
Yep. Come right back to it. Even though I get my ass chewed, beat, spit, tossed back and forth. I can't stop, you know?
Yeah. It's your passion, man.
I love this shit.
That's how you want. And you got to constantly be learning, constantly getting better, pushing yourself. The hardest.
Appreciate the help on that chart, man.
Oh, hell yeah!
You gave me another view. I mean, it does make sense. I thought it was making sense what I was saying, but you were like, "No, the move was down there, man." In reality, it was like the move happened, but
not that
I just
you're
got
gonna
in
take
late.
it. Exactly. Not that you're gonna take it, but that was the move. And you were buying at the high. It's like you missed the move. I don't think you got FOMO. You just saw a clean move to the left that you could have mirrored. But in those cases where you see multiple bullish candles like that, just wait for a retest. You know, just think about like the stock market in general, where everyone's talking about the stock market. It's all going up, all that stuff, and you're starting to get FOMO. You're like, I want to get in. I want to be in that. And you just end up getting in at the high, and then, you know, buyers cash out, the people that already got the move, and you missed it. So I just got to stop that on that.
I have a feeling that EJ's probably gonna be a fake out.
Could be.
He's gonna come right back down.
Could be.
It always does that. Every time there's consolidation on certain pairs, it pops right up and then it pops right back down.
Yeah. We'll
Just like it did on fucking JJ.
Yeah.
Bitch ass. Oh Jesus. Yeah, man. Markets are shit right now, dude.
It's all good. Barely lost anything on that, which is a win, and that's how you got to look at it.
So why haven't you made the decision, or what are your thoughts about funding accounts?
Funding accounts,
Yeah,
just make sure you're profitable.
that's all I'm saying.
There's no point of doing it and giving them your money every single month if you're not actually making money from it.
True.
You know,
There's this maintenance fee or something like that, right?
what was that?
I think there's a maintenance fee or something like that. I don't know if that's the exact term they use, but there's a fee that you pay every month.
Yeah, I don't know about maintenance fee, but it's just like the cost of doing business with them, and and they make money on that. Like that's their bread and butter. They get all these people that they know aren't profitable that just want a funded account because they want to trade with more money, but in reality, you're not profitable, so you're just giving them $130 every month for no reason, or $70 every month.
Damn.
So.
Yeah.
So get profitable, and then 100%. If you want to make more money, you feel comfortable doing it, and you like the company, then do it. Me personally, I can't see myself giving. I don't want to be involved with any other company or a business like where I'm giving them 30% of my profits. I'm already giving the government 40% of my profits.
Tell me about it, dude.
No, I don't want to give another company that.
It's ridiculous, man. How much money you have to pay in taxes, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes it makes you not even want to make any money.
So you just don't want to do anything.
Yeah, man. Just fucking live off of their little checks that they give you, the food stamps. The city where I work in, there's this area in the south side of it, where it's all housing, got food stamps. They all live in duplexes. They don't pay for anything. And I'm just like, man, this is what
like Section 8?
Something like that in the hood.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, like, why would y'all take away from people that are actually doing something in life to get to people that don't want to do shit in life?
Exactly. Because they know they have their vote. That's fine.
Shit.
Gafour, what's up, buddy?
How you doing, stuff?
How are you?
I'm good. It's been a long week.
Yeah, how's your brother doing?
Yeah, he got better. We took him to the emergency room, and they want to do some sort of allergy test for him because it was really random.
Yeah, it just randomly got hives.
Yeah, like we just went out and we got there was some street vendor thing outside over here, some corn and stuff and like sugarcane juice and stuff.
Okay.
And I don't know, randomly he started itching his head and then he got hives all over his body. It was so random.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well,
I think last week, I think he had COVID last week too. I'm not sure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
it was kind of hectic last week.
Well, I'm glad you're back and doing better.
Yeah.
You know what sucks though? The only thing is like with these live streams is, obviously with COVID and everything, a lot of people are working from home, right? So once people started going back in the office, we have a bunch of guys that are now back in their offices at this time. So it's tough. We don't have as many people on in the mornings. It doesn't matter to me, but it's just awesome having those conversations with everyone. Like everyone's got like an issue, and then a lot of people are still going through that same exact issue, and we could go over it, And like, I always say like with Rakil, he's got his live stream, but he's got 4,000 people on there to answer to. So there's always something to talk about, always something to say, always somebody to answer to. With this, when we only have a couple guys on here, it's a little tough to always keep that conversation going. Today was really good though, but it's kind of how it is.
You guys think there's no GJ trades or anything today, right?
No. So I should have secured up here. I was waiting for my 10 pips, but we made a strong volume push real quick that I noticed when we created this top wick, and we just flipped bearish. And when we made that volume push, that's where I should have secured. Gary, how are you doing? Gary, there? Maybe not. Gary's got like a bunch of kids he's taking care of.
Hello.
There he is.
I've only got the one today.
Which trade?
No trades, just one kid.
Oh, only got the one today.
Yeah, no trades today. I haven't
How's she
really
doing?
I haven't been really doing much on the charts today.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's she doing?
She's all right. She's got a bit of a cough, so she's a bit high temperature and whatnot.
Sure.
So.
Gary, we got to get you back managing the London chat.
Yeah. I think Mato is pretty much the only one that's put anything in lately.
Yeah.
Where's
Not many people trade London.
Where's Nathan been?
Nathan?
Yeah.
He's in a tough spot right now. He's got that new job. So
Okay.
it's taking a lot of time from him, but the problem is he's letting that discourage him away from trading, you know? And plus, like, taking some losses, all this stuff starts to pile up, and it just gets kind of overwhelming a little bit. So he's kind of, unfortunately, like, losing his drive a little bit. And, you know, I always take everything as, like, you know, what could I be doing better and everything, but I've literally done a lot to try to get him on the right track, and he's his own worst enemy because he's naturally a gambler, you know. So until he listens to himself and gets his discipline right, he's never going to get this thing set. He's never going to really catch on to this.
Yeah. What's he doing?
Very
Just taking like a step back.
Yeah, and you know, you're supposed to take a step back to take two forward, which is completely fine and natural in trading. You need that step back to learn and get better. But the problem is he's taking 2 or 3 steps back because he keeps over risking or over trading and shooting himself in the foot. It's all about the money for him. And it can't be. It's got to be about the skill.
I know the feeling. I was there as well.
What was that?
I said, I know the feeling. I was there as well.
Yeah, I think all of us have really gone through that little period, especially in the beginning. But, you know, he's always been a gambler, so it's a little bit tougher for him. Like me, I was never a gambler before trading, so I was not as risk adverse. He doesn't mind throwing his whole account on a trade like that. You can't be like that. You're just you're gonna blow everything, which unfortunately happened. So he once he gets out of his own way, he'll be doing well. But until then, it's just, you know, you can only say so much until someone learns.
Yeah.
And that was rock bottom. You know, that's something that you really need to learn from, and it's like that'll never happen again. Now, unfortunately, at his expense, you guys learn from that by watching him, which is good for you guys. But at the same time, unfortunately, you know, that's what happens with him. And he's very open, and he's like an open book. So he's going to come on here and share everything that he's going through, which is awesome. But we got to get him back on track.
100%.
Hey, bro. Can
Yep.
you hear me?
Yep.
So, can you zoom out your chart for me? GJ chart,
Of course.
please.
You want the 1 hour?
Do the 4. It's 'cause I'm trying to see how you position your trend lines. Because I mean, they're so like you could put them in so many ways.
I know. So the main one over here is since COVID,
The channel, pretty much.
right? We've been in this channel, just like after retesting 1680 on gold, been in that bullish channel, pushing up. So now we're at the height of this channel. We're at the resistance over here. Came down, consolidated, grabbed liquidity, got a better price. Banks got in at a better price, and then just headed up to retest that high. So now, what are we doing? We're holding this support over here, previous resistance, and then previous resistance over here as well, right? And then you get a clean move to the left. But right now we're still at the height of that trend line over there, but we're also, or that channel, but we're also over here, and 155 on the monthly, very strong level, and that's what we're approaching right now. All right, so now we're trying to get up in that area. Current monthly May candle is just straight bullish, no bottom wick. Price is pushing up. Let me just see this. Yeah, I might.
Would you look at that?
May be able to re-enter EJ. This is what I was looking for, but I ended up getting stopped out. So price is just pushing up over here on GJ. Same thing weekly. This is a very weak doji candle over here, but it looks like we're holding the support over here and continuing up to 155, and that's what I'm looking for. So the 4 hour over here, we're respecting this trend. So I don't want to sell anything, you know, above this trend line. We're just pushing up over here. We're just kind of grabbing orders in this area to then head up, I believe. So looking at the 1 hour, the 1 hour has been respecting this trend over here. I forget who pointed this out yesterday on the stream. I think it was, who was that? Shit. I forget. You gotta watch the replay. But anyway, price is kind of respecting this bullish trend over here and then kind of pushing it. I think it was Tiger. I think that was Tiger yesterday. But anyway, we broke out of this consolidation, created a high, coming down, respecting the support, maybe, and then continuing up. I don't want to take anything in here. Maybe take something in here. It's 20 pip range.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So I'm going to wait for this 15-minute candle to close. Same thing with the hour candle. And then the next candle to possibly create its bottom wick and then head up. If it passes the high in the first like 2 seconds, I'm not going to enter. Unfortunately, I may miss it unless we create a top wick and then close down here, which would be nice. If we don't get it, we don't take it.
Go get vaccinated now. a new idea for you. I'll get you a spoon so you can eat my ass.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Vaccinated. Now. Here's a new idea for you. I'll get you a spoon so you can eat my ass.
I kind of miss the Trump memes though. That shit.
Which ones?
Huh?
Like which ones?
You know how every time he would go on stage or he would talk on TV, they would come out and make a meme. The one that I see a lot is the one where he was doing some meeting out on the stage. There's a parking lot or something. I think Lil Pump went to that that meeting or whatnot, and he had the little hat, "Make America Great Again."
Mm-hmm.
He's dancing.
I forget what he said. His speech was so funny. He's like, "Vote for him now," like or something like that.
Yeah,
damn,
that guy's funny.
Fucking EJ.
He got a sense of fucking humor. Make America Great Again. God damn
it. He's a funny dude. I think he's running again.
Yeah. All my Mexican people that would go to the shop, they're like, "Yeah, we want Biden because of immigration." I'm like, "Man, y'all are so stupid, man." Yeah. And now I'm just like, "Oh my God, Biden." Biden just looks evil, man. Just look at him, man.
No,
It looks like he got horns on his forehead, dude. Oh, fuck.
He's shot. Let me see. Dan Bungie.
The audience is dying to hear it. I know you've been asked 1,000 times. Forgive me, but I have to ask, where are we with 2024?
This is yesterday.
We need you, man. We need you big time. You thinking about it? Are you leaning one way? We'd love to hear it.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are going to make you very happy, and we're going to do what's right. And we've done a great job for the country. We rebuilt our military and had the greatest economy ever twice. You know, we rebuilt it, then the world collapsed with the whole world collapsed with it. And then we built it again where the stock market was higher than it was even the first time. But we're going to do the right thing.
It's awesome.
Sounds motivating.
Put this guy back in there. I
told my
Mexican
people that that's Uncle Trump. Trump.
Yeah. I keep seeing these shirts that say like, "Don't blame me, I voted for Trump."
Yeah.
But like,
get me one. I need one.
EJ's a heartbreaker, isn't it?
Look at that. It would have hit you.
That's all good. You learn.
Yeah.
I manage risk great over here. And then, you know, if price comes right back into the zone, there's a high probability price is going to reject. You know, once we got into, 8 pips in profit, I'm not going to let my trade get back in the drawdown. It should never go back in the drawdown. These are your rules, and everything, just because you missed this trade doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You're sticking to your rules. You're sticking to a system that if price does this, you do this. Price does that, you do that. And that's it.
Pretty much making yourself a robot.
You have to be. Let me bring this up real quick. I don't think either of you guys were on when we watched it. We had a guest speaker yesterday.
Yeah, I wasn't on yesterday.
I put the episode on YouTube, but it wasn't actually a guest speaker. It was like a professional institutional trader. I showed a video of him, one of them. But let's see. Yeah, this guy. Well, we watched this guy right here. This guy is fucking harsh. But we watched this. Wait, Gary, were you on yesterday? I don't think you were. whatever. I'm going to play this for you guys. Listen to what he says about trading a system.
You know, when I was young, I grew up in a fairly strict house, always knowing right from wrong, and for the most part, always been able to decipher what I should or should not be doing. And now that I'm a parent, I realize that having and enforcing a set of rules is an extremely important part to an orderly and functional household. And any trader that wants to make it for the long haul must also have a strict set of rules and make sure we stick to them. Because at the end of the day, what good are rules, even if we break them maybe 2 to 3 times a year? You know, there's nothing worse to me personally than taking a loss in the market that can wipe out weeks or maybe even months of trading. You feel like the last several weeks or months got simply flushed down the toilet. You know, you spend day in, day out grinding out wins, grinding out trades, only to have everything, you know, be wiped out. It can be mentally demoralizing and very hard to get your mind back on reset. You know, it's the financial part of the loss that hurts the most, but the mental and emotional part can be just as bad, because if you're not trading with a free and clear mind, you may as well go home. That's how even some great traders can get caught up in a vicious cycle. Once the losses start, they almost don't know how to get themselves out of it. That's why I think it's so important to try to stick to your rules and limit your losses. You know, one of the great benefits of being a trader is that we're our own boss. We work from home, and for the most part, we answer to nobody. It's really everybody's dream job. But, you know, on the flip side, there's nobody there to hold us accountable. So let's say we all were to work for a company. It doesn't matter whether it's big or small. And 2 to 3 times a year, we bend the rules. Or 2 to 3 times a year, we just make that same mistake over and over again. And we cost this company tens of thousands or possibly hundreds of thousands of dollars. What would that company say to you? You know, most likely you'd be out of a job. That's why it's so important as self-employed individuals, traders, we hold ourselves accountable for our actions. Now, as a trader, I realize the most important thing I can do on a daily basis is preserve my capital. Taking excessive risk, taking on marginal trades, or adding to losing trades is an easy way for losses to add up. You know, sometimes as traders, we're always focusing on the next big setup. How much are we going to make on VERI? How much are we going to make on this? How much did I make last week or last month? But how often we focus on what we're doing poorly? How often we focus on our losses? You know, I think our losses can be a great tool to help us create some rules. I think our losses, you know, can help us study and say, hey, this is what I don't want to do again. This is what I don't want to do in the future. You know, the thing about trading, it's a very tough profession. I think the stats are something like 90 to 95% of traders fail. And why do they fail? They don't fail because of a lack of winning setups or lack of wins. They fail because of their losses. They fail because they just take too many losses too frequently, or just that one big loss. I mean, that's the thing in the market. One loss can wipe you out in your career. That's where a good set of rules can either make you or break you for the long haul. Now, trading can be a difficult profession. For that, we sit in front of our computers all day long, and we feel unproductive if we're not always in a trade or pushing buttons. You know, we follow traders on Twitter who tweet a new idea or ticker every 35 seconds, and we say, hey, that guy trades 80 to 90 tickers a day. I need to do the same thing. No, I think that's BS. I think you should not do the same thing. I think you need to stick with your high probability setups, the setups you know you're going to be profitable on. I'd say at least 75, 80, hopefully 90% of the time. Now, sometimes it can be hard to sit on your hands and be patient, wait for those setups. But why chase subpar setups? You know, why chase boredom trades? Why put good money after bad? Now, how many of us here of traders have followed a chat room, a Twitter, or a friend into an idea that we knew was not a high probability setup for our own trading style? Now, we all have different trading styles here. What works for you may not work for me. Personally, I'm a terrible long bias trader. If and when I ever do go long, I take profits extremely fast, knowing that a lot of times profits can just get away from me pretty quick. I don't have the patience nor the conviction, you know, to hold them. That's why month after month, year after year, I personally get more strict about the trades that I place. I probably place half the amount of trades I did maybe just 5 years ago, but I make way more money. Why? Because I trade the high probability setups I know I'm going to be profitable at 80 to 90% of the time. I like to use size with those trades, and I have very strict rules when it comes to cutting losses. Now, I'm sure most of us as traders have rules, or at least we should. How many of us use stops? I mean, stops are a must. I mean, we all have to use stops. Now, I personally rarely use hard stops, but I have mental stops on every position that I take. Basically, if something's breaking support or resistance, I usually just exit that trade. And I think most of us here need to have a mental idea in our head of where we're going to exit a trade based on, based on where it goes against us. How many of us here have ever been in a losing trade and we're down something small, maybe $5,000, and we think, I'm not going to cut it. I feel like this is going to be a winner, and we add to that trade. An hour later, we're down $20,000 to $30,000, and we think, wow, it's hard to, I can't cut it now. We hold it till the afternoon. Maybe tomorrow it gaps up. We're down $70,000, $80,000, $100,000, and we think, what the heck just happened? I could have cut that loss yesterday for 3, 4, 5 grand. Now I've given up 10, maybe 20% of my year just by being stubborn. Think about how much more money we could make at the end of the year if we just stick to some simple rules and cut our losses at an appropriate place. Now, for me personally, I very rarely enter a trade, unless it's with starter size, something really small, unless I know I'm going to be in the money immediately. I ask the question, why would you ever enter a trade knowing it's going to go against you? And you say, well, I'll just add higher. Why would you ever want to do that? I personally like to be right on my first entry. And if I'm not, I cut it and I look for a re-entry. The last thing I want to do, again, is be stubborn, refuse to cut a loss, add to losers, and before you know it, you've given up 10, 20, maybe 30% of your year on any particular setup. I see so many traders that can consistently make money month after month after month, only at the end of the year realize they were stubborn on 3 to 4 tickers and they gave up, maybe 20 to 30% of the year. Now let's talk about being stubborn for a minute. Why is it that we refuse to cut losses? Is it that sometimes we refuse to be wrong? Or has the research we've done on any particular stock made us so overly biased that we think the market is wrong and we are right? Or did we possibly take on too much size overnight on a low float stock that's opened dramatically against us? There's numerous reasons we take losses in the market, and a majority of them are our fault. We can say, well, Dries was manipulated when it went from 5 to 115. Or, KBIO was a fluke when Shirley bought it and went from 2 to, 40s within a couple days. And those are true. Dries was manipulated, but at the end of the day, nobody forced us to hold Dries, from 40 to 60 to 80 to 100. Nobody forced us to hold KBIO. Some people added after hours. Some people added the net, a few days later. I think at the end of the day, our losses are they're basically our fault. Sure, there can be unexpected news or events, but at the end of the day, I think it's our stubbornness that leads to some of our biggest losses. Now, I personally have a lot of rules in my trading. I've already went over a couple of them. Most of them are just ingrained in my head. I know I'm just like walking, talking, eating, and sleeping. I don't even have to think about them. But I'll go over quick, a couple of my top rules again real quick. I like to trade the best setups out there. So the setups that I know I'm going to be profitable on 80 to 90% of the time. And I like to use size with those setups. I ask a question. If you see a setup and you say, hey, 9 out of 10 times I'm going to make money on this setup, why would you not want to put big money behind that trade? Why would you not want to? I think the risk reward is definitely on your side there. I think, for me personally, the big money's and the big wins. I'm not going to get rich scalping. It's just not for me. And I certainly know I'm not going to lose money on boredom trades because I just don't play them. The setup's not there. I sit on my hands. If not, I'll just leave for the day. I never feel forced to trade. Second, never, ever add to losing trades. There's a reason the trade is going against you. You're wrong. It's all there is to say. You need to exit that trade and look for a re-entry. And don't ever say to yourself, it can't go higher. It can't go higher or it can't go lower. For anybody that says it can't go higher, put a chart of Dries next to your computer from last November. For anybody that says it can't go lower, put a chart of Dries next to your computer from November 15th to a few weeks ago. It's down 99.99%. There's a prominent hedge fund manager out there a few years ago that was bullish on Valiant. He was bullish in the 200s, bullshit 180, bullshit 150, bullshit 100, bullshit 80, 60, 40, 20. I think he finally sold at $10 or $15. Why? Just stubbornness. That's all it is to it. It's just stubbornness, in my opinion. Third, take profits on winning trades. I always scale out of positions. Let's say I'm short 50,000 shares of a position and it's reached maybe 70% of my target. I like to take at least a third off right there. Always lock some in. Falls another 10, 15, 20 cents. Take another 10, 15,000 shares off, whatever it is. Don't ever try to be so stubborn and try to pick the exact tops or bottoms. Another one is always trade with a free and clear mind. I've noticed that if I don't sleep well, maybe you had a traumatic event in your family, Whatever it is, it's just best not to trade. And don't ever trade if you feel obligated or forced to make money. You know, if you had a big loss last week, don't ever revenge trade. You know, you really have to have a free and clear mind to trade the markets. The biggest one of all, and lastly, is cut losses, cut losses, cut losses. You know, I think as traders, if we can create a good list of rules with strict stop loss management, I think at the end of the day, we can become more profitable traders. Thank you.
Like that,
Pretty true.
right?
We can't go lower.
It's all about the system. All about the system that you put in place.
You taking another trade?
I don't know if I'm going to enter this because looking at the 1 hour, it's so overextended over here. Look at that. I risked 2%. I only lost 0.67%. That's a win right there.
If the loss is small.
Making losses small. See, this
Something I
candle
didn't fucking do.
bearish on the 1 hour. This candle was, you know, ended up closing bearish. If it closed bullish, maybe, but right over here, I was thinking maybe we're creating our top wick and then we're going to flip bearish over here to maybe retest this area to then continue up. But I'm basically done for the day. I'm good. I cut my losses small, which is good. And that's all it's about. So with that, I'm about to hop off. You guys have a great day. If you guys need me at all, let me know. As always.
Sure.
And I'll see you guys soon.
Deuces.
What you saying?
See you tomorrow morning.
See ya.